So you're kind of your own little genius in your own little world. When does your creativity come out? Like when are you most, because you're doing something like your resume is so diverse in a way that I don't think is mirrored by any other auteur out there. Is that safe to say? And you're still an everyday guy. You're still can
so
walk around and just be.
I don't want to
Jon
answer
Favreau.
because I want you to keep talking. I don't want it. You're on a roll here, and I love it. Yeah,
is good?
Keep going.
So it is very, and especially you're young and you've been able to create so much work from writing to producing, to broad comedy, to teenage stuff, to sci-fi, to working with Han Solo. Talking Harrison Ford into anything is not easy, let alone being in Cowboy, Alien, whatever it is. It's going to be, right?
Return to genre.
So how is that? Tell me, just give me one morsel. Is it in the morning? What do? You drink coffee?
When you come up with ideas?
What is it?
Well, first you got to when you're directing, you got to work on something for 2 years. I was here a year ago with this film, and I've been working on it for 2 years. The first thing you have to do is find something that hooks you. So whether it's a title or it's a script, in this case it was a script that I had gotten after 2 years ago. I met with Kurtzman and Orsi, and they sent me a script, and I read it. And when it keeps you up at night, when you have an idea that makes you get up and you have a lot of ideas, that's when you say to yourself, okay, I'm tuned into this somehow, because it's not a conscious process. And when I keep a little notebook by the bed, carry it with me, and I just jot every idea, bad ones, good ones. And it's a composition notebook, so you can't tear pages out. And the faster that book fills up, the more you know that you're engaged with the idea. But I couldn't do what I do with an idea that I didn't really cleave to. So the trick is let yourself, your obsessive side, give it free rein and let your mind go. And whether it's an image or a line of dialogue or a costume or a movie that you see that reminds you of something, you just feed it all in, and then you just get great people to work with you and work around you, and as a team you develop this vision.
One thing that I know about you and what I think the fans feel is you can feel intention with people. You can feel like if they just want to be famous or to have money, and I think the reason for your success is that you're a fan. Like he approaches everything as a fan. So you want to do right by the film, you want to do right by the comic or the story or the origin, and so that's what feeds it all.
And right by me, because
of course,
yeah.
It's just
what would Krista do? It's a bracelet.
It's true. The trick is I haven't met anybody honestly who's had success in the business that doesn't have great passion for the work, and who wouldn't do it if they didn't need money. And especially working with Ron Howard, Steven Spielberg, these are people who've made their mark. Name dropping.
Yeah.
They worked on the movie. I've earned that on this one at least.
I was hanging out with my friend Ben. He manages Urban Outfitters. It's not a big deal. I can get you a discount.
Thank you.
Cool.
But there are people. The point I was making is that there are people who don't need to work, and they choose to, and it's fun to watch them bring such passion, even with the full body of work that they have. And one of the great experiences in this film was to work with all of these people who I could learn from, not just making movies, but the way they conduct their careers and their lives. And I think that's a through line, is that if you try to be the best and you just follow what you're passionate about, the good things, they might not come immediately, but they eventually will. And I've had enough careers that I didn't like before I started in entertainment that I just wasn't very successful at. You have to find what you love and what you have passion for.
Now, have your parents forgiven you for dropping out of college?
Yeah,
now,
I left.
I left
on. It is. I left. I was on the dean's list when I left.
That's what it says.
Good. So
you were close, but you left.
But I finally got great marks, and I said it's time. I want to move to Chicago and study improv and be a cartoonist. And my dad, thankfully, I was 22 years old. He says, you're old enough that you know better, and you're not young enough that if it doesn't work out, you could do something else. And they all gave me their blessing, and I went cross country and worked my way up, and I got Rudy after a few years, which was a huge break.
One of my favorite films.
Isn't it a great movie?
Yes.
I was very charmed to have that as my first experience, because it was a magical film, and it didn't do well at the box office, and I learned that if you make a great movie, it'll find its way to an audience eventually. And
play every day like a champion. It hangs in.
Play like a champion. Notre Dame. That's right.
Play like a champion every day.
That's very good. Where are your notes? You don't even have cards.
Nothing.
It's just all in here.
It's all in there.
This is a pleasure.
I have one question for you, and we'll leave you with this. If now you have, this is the best job you've ever had.
Are you going to try to get me to cry?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
This is the best job you've ever had.
Because you got me.
Yeah,
you had me. I'm right there.
With Rudy?
I'm right on the
Rudy
edge.
was my lead-in. If I can't get a tear with Rudy,
I'm
I
right
don't know
there.
what.
Now you got to kick it over the edge. Bring it up.
What's the worst? If this is the best job you've ever had, what's
Yes.
the worst job?
The worst? Oh, I've had that. That's a harder one. I cleaned crap out of parrot cages when I was growing up at a parrot store. I've dressed up as cereal characters at boat shows.
You and Hugh Jackman. I thought Hugh
he?
Jackman might have had the biscuit, but he was a koala bear for a
koala.
while.
Yeah, I was up there.
Yeah.
I've looked out of a mouth hole a few times, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Out of a screened mouth hole.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done it all. But,
Yeah.
you know, it just shows you your commitment. A murder mystery dinner theater back in Chicago where you had to act out the play and then serve.
Pretty good.
Then serve the entree. Yeah. And everybody wanted to be the person who got killed in the murder mystery because they only had to serve the salad.
And the pay was the same?
Same pay. You split the tips. Yeah, it's true. So.
Oh, man.
What are you doing next?
I think I'm going to probably do Magic Kingdom with Disney, where sort of Disneyland comes to life.
Wow.
Big effects film, maybe a little softer and friendlier than Cowboys and Aliens, which gets a little brutal.
That's amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, I think it
it's
could be
right in the
great.
world.
I've been reading up on the life of Walt Disney, and he's a very inspiring figure. And his relationship with film and technology and entertainment and the public was fascinating. And then to have the opportunity, much like I had the opportunity with Marvel, to have access to their canon and their characters and redefine that and help create the world that now all these other films and the Avengers are playing in that world. It's a very exciting thing. I just walked past a huge Iron Man monster truck on my way here, and it was like my life is really getting weird, but it's great weird. And maybe I could have some fun with the Disney characters too and do something special.
Why not? We look forward to it.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, well, thanks
This was
for
the
time.
best, easiest interview I've done in my
We could
life.
sit here forever, but I know we've got time.
Okay.